Billy here. I'm doing this before work. It's very early in the morning. I got up and looked at all the news and what's going on in my feeds and my places I check, and I see good things. There are a bunch of great articles, interviews, videos from Dugin, Alexander Dugin, because of this recent horrifying incident, and there's a lot of message getting across now. I mean, all over. It's really great to see that, and why now? Dugin himself released a statement. I'm going to read the last paragraph. For you. Our hearts crave more than just revenge or punishment. This is too small. It is not for the Russians. We need victory. My daughter laid her virgin life on the altar, so win, please. It's not just talking about denazifying Ukraine. It's talking about the big picture. It's not going to be some victory day where the international globalist technocratic oligarchy is just surrenders and it's put on trial. It's not going to happen. Let's talk about long-term victory. So this is a war of ideas. This is replacing a really, really dangerous, horrifying, hellish ideology, the ideology of technocrats, with one that's human, one that's Christian. Not imposing Christianity, just lifting it up as an example where everybody has their own little realm and they can have their own thing and get along. Mutual respect, mutually beneficial economic relations, not punitive ones, not manipulative ones. It's not that difficult. It really is something that's logically consistent, easy to do, but you need to get rid of these greedy, horrifying oligarchs. You don't need to get rid of them. You need to get them out of influence and power, and that can be done ideologically. That's where it starts. I know Americans don't like to hear the word ideology, and they think that they don't really have one, but they do. They have the one that's in the media by default and don't even seem to realize it. That's changing. I know it's changing. I've been trying to promote Dugin's ideas, and I have extreme difficulty in doing so because people will Google it, and the results they get is he's demonic, occultic, Soviet, communist, atheist, Satanist, weirdo, and he's Putin's brain. Now they're trying to scare you, but that's Google. It's worthless. That's all you're going to find about him on there. But then I have words out of his mouth. I have books that he's written. English is a second language for him. It's difficult to listen to for people that are impatient and don't try. His writing, or whoever edited it, is horrifying. I'm a pretty smart guy, and I'm very articulate, and I can understand things. I can read all kinds of things and figure them out real quick. I read his work, and I haven't actually gotten this far, but I've reached for the paper and the pencil, and I'm ready to start diagramming sentences to try to figure them out. It's horrible. They're using Russian grammar in English, basically, is a lot of the problem, and there's a misuse of conjunctions and lack of commas or too many commas, and it's just horrifying figuring out what the hell they're saying. But when you figure it out, it's great. Then explaining it to people, and then they go to these sources, and they just don't want to slog through them, and I don't blame them. It's difficult for me. But suddenly, all these things appear that are succinct and concise, and that you can understand. All of a sudden they're all over the place. What happened? Some in the spirit world, I guess. I guess there was a price paid. Something happened, something good. I'm not saying Eurasianism is a utopia, but it's a step towards controlling and constraining, and it's the only viable one, the only one that's out there to actually constrain the oligarchs and push them back into their little nasty little box. There's a lot of fake ones that they themselves have created that they do stuff like that. You have to understand how they think. But I think that was inspiring. We don't need mere punishment. And they know who did it. They've got it all. I mean, there's cameras everywhere. There's records everywhere. Sometimes that works against you. Sometimes it works for you. They know who supplied the car. They know who did it. A woman had her kid with her for cover. Yeah, they're like that. She's in Estonia now. They're protecting her. Yeah, a little lapdog Estonia. Well, there's CIA and NATO outfits in Estonia. Estonia is a center, command center for the information war, actually. They have a center there. I don't remember what they call it. I remember when they established it years ago, back around 2014 or so. They put that thing together, a big building. It's kind of like Langley, only it's in Estonia. Why would anybody turn the sovereignty of their country over to a project like that? Estonians got resentment, just like Latvians, just like Ukrainians. They were given all their land by the czars. It was given to them. The czars unhooked them from the Swedes and the Lithuanian Empire. They made them where they weren't vassals anymore and gave them their own territory and never asked anything in return except, well, don't let people come in here against us. Yeah, and they seem to have forgotten that. And then the Nazis came in and they were all enthusiastic about Nazis. And when the Nazis were eliminated at the end of the war, the most powerful parties in these countries were the communists, and they voted to join the Soviet Union. But you were told as an American, and now American doctrine has been since 91 has been taught in the Baltics that the Soviet Union invaded and yeah, they kicked the Nazis out, but then they took over and put up an Iron Curtain. No, that's not how it happened, sugar. You need to find out what the real history is. It's funny, really, and sad. But we know what happened. We know who did it. But punishment isn't that the big thing. Neither is revenge. You got to think long term. It's victory, worldwide victory. And I'm going to work towards it. There, I said it. I don't care. Well, I had all kinds of interesting ideas I was going to share, and I forgot them while I was talking. It's early. I'll make this short. Maybe I can get it uploaded quickly before I go to work. I'll give it a try. So I'm going to cut this off now. I'll have plenty more later. There's lots of things to talk to. I'm working on a whole bunch of things. I just need to get them done. And if I make a really long video, it takes like 6 hours to put it through this internet I have here. But it's all good. Billy's doing good. Billy's going to have a new tooth tomorrow. Well, a fake one. A temporary fake one. That'll be better. Anyway. Billy signing out.